Oh boy, it's starting. All right, Mr. Nemo. It's your good old buddy Bad Back Brooks checking in. And I've been calling myself Bad Back Brooks rather than Bikepacker Brooks or Backpacker Brooks because I have a bad back. I give anyone props who is in chronic back pain, disabled, can't walk, just suffering. I give them huge props because I am finding out. I think I'm into my 3rd month of trying to recover from this. And anyway, we're looking at the Nemo Bikepacking Tent, the Dragonfly. Colorful name. And on the way is a copper spur from Big Agnes that is not really a bikepacking edition, but I got a deal for $300, a little more, $335 or something. And the reason why is just installing this, I had a hard time just kind of yanking this thing down with the fly. I had to kind of get up and shimmy the fly over. Maybe I should have started here. But I felt for like a $300, well, $400 and some when it was new. I'm privileged to scavenge up the old items from a couple years back. You know, it's just too much work. Like it should have, even if it does have this, at least some sort of adjustability. And the copper spur should have a buckle system here. And the fly on the copper spur should go all the way down. I'm definitely not concerned with the weatherproofing. It's a real sturdy tub on this tent. But it's more that in the past, I felt like if I've ever left tents, gosh, be careful if you ever leave your tent. But the wind can just get up under them and they're gone. She gone. But this, just to look at it, I think going into the future, this is 2022. So 2023 now. I think this is like a 2021 edition. The newest edition is coming out, hence probably why I got this cheaper. See, there's what I'm talking about. On this side, you have a strap that adjusts. In all honesty, instead of having to like pick the tent up and put another strap under that strap, I just feel it's a little bit of a struggle, especially with a bad back. I find out more and more about these things. I really like this. I like these. Super nice. But I have a cheap REI. I just got on closeout. I use it for job sites and whatever. And I always wondered, I was like, why, how does this go? Why do you put it in? Maybe that's sturdier or better to go under there. Definitely the strap. I mean, it's still nylon. And I think the newest one, what I was getting around at, it's pretty much identical to this, but it uses a fly that, I don't know, some sort of proprietary material. It's not still nylon. And then the copper spur on the way, which is about a $30 more tent. Closeout. It's a 2020 copper spur. Big Agnes. It's not the bike pack edition, which I really want to give the tents my business with the bike pack edition. However, it's still a pretty short tent. It specs out at 17.5 inches when it's all packed. This is 14.5. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, a bike packing edition has shorter tent poles, and it's a little bit more of a few more doodads. So the idea you're strapping it to a bike and living on it while you're biking. Anyway. This is really nice compared to the one Big Agnes I tested a couple years ago. However, the 2020 copper spur says, and what I'm talking about is this little rod. It can be a real nuisance to string into the fly. I'll go into that. So it zips up. Near as I can tell, the main vent to the tent is here. You prop that up and zip the zipper down a little bit. It did have condensation this morning going into it. I feel like an advantage of this Nemo is it has a huge fly for a one-person tent. And by that, I mean, it's just a little bigger than the Big Agnes, but it's got this other little tie out to reinforce it here and kind of pull it out a bit. And I felt like a minute ago when I was in here, I'll show you, I come in, I'm pretending it's pouring down rain, come in right quick, and I can zip it up pretty easily. And I can kneel over here and work, and my feet and everything are in. Maybe my back's against it or whatever, which is another disadvantage. I think the sil nylon, it kind of bleeds through a little when you're up against it working on it. That might be an advantage to the newest model coming out here soon for like $449 or whatever. Hopefully they fix those little strap points to where you could buckle them. So it's not bad, not bad. You could put your phone here, but I kind of desired a few more pockets. Like you go to sleep and you just want your phone right where you can grab it. You want your socks or watch. And I felt like, at least as advertised, the Big Agnes copper spur suggested it had a couple good areas to put your things. However, this, like I said, it did come with the gear loft and a little thing to stick. I didn't think my phone quite fits. It's kind of heavy for that. It's really to disperse your headlamp or read. But again, you just got the one pocket to drop something into. You do have the nice, generous vestibule area, and it comes with a cover. I'm not going to beat things up too much. I just had this bag here for an example. Bought this from Nemo. It's for bike packing. It's got a waterproof membrane that you just, same pad sleeve thing as Big Agnes. You know, if you get your nice insulated pad in there, it's a struggle to slide that pad in there, but it works. You can just throw it on the ground, throw it in your hammock, whatever. But I rarely get it used because I feel like it is so hard to slide the pad. I just was struggling here with my bad back, trying to figure out the opening and grab the pad and slide it. It's more for a tarp system, but still. And what I'm getting at is some of this stuff, it can be kind of cool, but if it isn't practical, it ends up not getting used enough. But this is just a good look at it. I'm about 5'11", and I think I was going to say the height to this tent is really nice. That's probably a pro. Even though the copper spur, I believe, specs out about the same length. And I might see, because I'm going to get these here about the same time. You know, you get like 30 days to return them, whatever one you don't want. Get those muddy shoes off this thing. Oh, here's another thing. I just get this. I'm doing my work, kneeling in here, trying to struggle setting up this sleeping bag and pad. And I just get this flopping. Well, it's got a tie up here, but it just doesn't like zip back far enough. I almost feel like maybe a couple things are like a little, at least for me, a little backwards. Like when I'm laying in the tent, I feel like reaching through and getting to my gear easy. I don't know. I suppose it's logical. You're coming in with your backpack. You throw it in the gear area. You just get into the tent as quick as you can. I guess I noticed on some of the other models, at least just by looking at the picture, it looks like that zipper opens about 8 or 10 inches wider. And that'd probably allow this tie back to come down a little more. Oh, you get these nice hoops to put your socks or shirt in and dry them. It's a pretty easy tent to set up. Like I said, this could be the beginning video or the end video. I'm going to use it for the beginning because anymore I just... Oh, thank my niece for this hat. A couple different modes. It's 2023. She gave it to me for Christmas here. A few days back. But yeah, just a whole new set of props for people with injured backs or arms, or just, gosh, people that just got hurt, military, car accident, born. I was on the Zephyr train, Amtrak, and the train that goes from Chicago to San Francisco, and I was riding up through the mountains past Boulder, Colorado. Sounds like a song. I was riding past the mountains near Boulder, and I saw a guy with one arm, more like a nub. He called it a nub. And he was staying in a big Agnes bag right on the train. You can sprawl it out at night or whatever. Just had an easier sleeve to slide it into. There's, you just kind of stretch it, pop it over the pad. But anyway, it was a Lost Ranger bag. But he had one little stub of an arm he was born with and a full arm here. And nicest guy. Just, that's his whole life. But I guess you just got to think about how lucky you are. And I'm like, with my back, I'm like, boy, I feel it all the time. And it's getting better, but it's just the longest injury I had. And you get those nightmares. You're like, am I going to ever be the same as I am? Is this the check engine light? Getting to middle age, the check engine light's on, bad back, quit the shoveling. Anyway, I'm not going to waste people's time too much. Hope everybody's doing all right out there. Over and out.